Hello everyone, it's Pat from Beads and Plenty More, and here today I'm going to talk about working with tiger wire and joining it to another medium. One of my samples that I have ready here is the glass pearl beads that I've put some little spacers between, and then I used chain as the rest of the necklace. That way it makes your necklace quite a bit lighter, and it also is a little bit more stylish too, to have just a little bit of beads and the nice chain. So what I did to join this up, I've put a wire guardian, crimp beads, and a crimp cover. Now you can't see it too well on the finished one, but I've got another one here that I want to talk about. And this one, with the pink jade and the silver beads, I've used rat tail cord. And I've used a big enough bead that it can slide right over top of all my work here. Well, we use the other side, it's easier. So I've got the wire guardian, and in order to get the wire guardian over top of the rat tail, I had to open it up a little bit because they're kind of in a horseshoe shape and they're always kind of pushed together. So if you just take a plier or your fingers and open it up a bit, then it'll go over the rat tail quite easily. Once it's over, then you pinch it back together again. And this bead with the larger hole, we can just slide it right down. Now this double rat tail can go into one of these units that has the two clamps and the lobster clasp and an extender. Extender is always handy because you may find that once in a while you want the necklace to be just a little bit different length. So these ones you just line up. And it's quite important to use glue, especially when you have two, because they can kind of jiggle around a bit. Let the glue dry good, and then we're going to fold these, one this way and one that way. But I'm going to make one right from the start here. And I've got the beads laid out in a design here. So I've got those, three of those, and one of these. These beads are beads that come in a little jar. They're actually just a nice big bead that comes already in size 2. Traverse, I believe is what it's called. And we need another one of the spacer beads and 3 more of these. Okay, so I've got it laid out. Actually, in the center here, I've used a little bail. And we have quite a few different sizes and shapes of these, and then a pair of the feathers, and I hook them together with a jump ring. So that just makes a nice little center. So that I'm going to string onto the tiger wire, but I'm going to pause and I'll come back after I've got it all strung and I'll show you how we attach it. I'm going to attach it to suede cording. Okay, I'm back again with the little centerpiece strung up with my travertine beads and my little center feathers. So what I've done here is I've put on 2 crimp beads. Here's the crimp beads and my wire guardian, and then I'm going to hook all this to the leather crimps. This is what these little guys are called, leather crimps. Okay, so the wire guardian, I'm going to have to go around the other side of it and down. And before I hook into the crimp beads, I want to hook on this wire guardian. And this is, pardon me, the leather crimp. This is the piece that will hold the suede cord that I'm going to use. So we'll snug these up, snug up this wire guardian, like so. And I'm just going to pinch that in with my fingers so that it's nice and snug, and it won't slide back on my crimp beads. Then we're going to put the crimp beads in. So the crimp beads go up here, and then usually we string this back a little ways on our other beads before we're going to cut off the excess of the tiger wire. Now, I want to talk a little bit about another little hint that I thought about when I was working with the pink one with the big holes. If you have a case where your crimp beads are so small that they're going to slide inside the hole of the bead, a little hint is that you can take a head pin or a piece of wire and you can just insert it right there before you get to the beads. You've got the wire already threaded back to some of the beads, but this will prevent the crimp beads from sliding. If I pull that up snug, you can see it holds the crimp beads from sliding inside the bead, and that way you can avoid having your crimp beads running inside when you're trying to crimp them. Okay, so we'll just get the pliers and crimp those down. So I've got some chain nose pliers. We'll give them a crimp, and at that point you'd be able to pull your wire out. This particular one I didn't have to do that, but I just wanted to show you that as a good hint for a case where you have a big hole bead. And in the case of my pink one, my bead was so large that I was able to pull it up onto the rat tail cord while I was doing all the connecting here. So it wasn't necessary to use that hint, but just so that you have that hint for future. Okay, so then the leather crimps. I've cut up 2 pieces of suede cording that comes in a roll like this, and we have lots of colors of that. So you're going to lay your suede cord in, and I often do recommend using glue, but you don't absolutely have to. These crimps have a little hook here, so that does catch it and it's not too serious. With the 2 cords of the rat tail, I strongly recommend using glue because they bounce around being slippery, and also 2 cords. So press that down really tightly, and then you're going to swing it around, and I like to use 2 pairs of pliers at this point so that I can hold the piece over here. Oh, wrong way. We'll go around this side and hold it so that I can then come in and take the pliers and push that down on that side. It does take a little bit of practice to get these crimp beads these leather crimps to fold down nice and neat, but once you get them, they really do look nice and they are very sturdy. There's other ones too that are not quite as sturdy as these, and I think I have a sample of that here. It's more rounded, as you can maybe see the rounded, and they fold down too, and they're softer metal, so they're not as strong. So again, if you're using a product like that, really recommend that you use glue in your slot before you start pushing it down. Okay, so we'll just feed these back onto that wire. Make sure that I cover up all that excess wire. I don't want it to stick out when I'm doing the other side. There we are. So then this one will go up and go into the clasp at the back, which I think I will leave this other side and do the clasp for you so that you can see how the clasp works. This would be the other piece that goes on this side. And I've done it a fairly short one so that we have a choker type necklace with the little feathers. So back here, we're going to do that leather crimp again. It's nice to be able to show you a couple of different times on this. So again, I like to go far up on the pliers so that I can get the tilt of that one side, start to bend it, and then go in tight with the tips and squeeze down really tight. Go around the other side. Just take a hold of this little pit with the second pair of pliers, and then fold this side down. There we are. And then to go into the clasp, we're going to use a jump ring, which I again highly recommend. The stainless steel jump rings, much stronger than regular jump rings, and they also seem to close a little bit tighter. Get a hold of that jump ring and close it up here. Of course, when we're working with fine edges, it's very important to get that jump ring closed really good, because the little edges of things can break through it very easily if it's not totally closed. So that would be the one side, and then on the opposite side I would put this little extender chain so that we've got something that I can adjust a little bit, especially for the choker, because the choker fits tight and various people's necks might be just a little bit different. And the other thing I could do on here is to put a crimp cover over to cover these 2 crimp beads that I put on there. But now on this side again, we do the crimp beads, wire guardian, and then into the leather crimp like that. So that's 3 different products that you can put on your tiger wire in order to finish a necklace and make it so that it's not as heavy, and it just gives it a little bit of a different look as well. So hope you can enjoy using your tiger wire and various types of finishing. Thank you. Bye.